Good morning, hockey fans. You are tuning in to the O Hockey Show. Of course, I'm going to be talking about the games that happened on the second night of the NHL season and some interesting stories going on here. I mean, of course, I'm sure if you're watching this, you already know one of the outcomes of one of these games, which is interesting, and another crazy one. So let's get into it here with the Boston Bruins and the Capitals. So my questions going into this one, of course, was the Bruins, their guys, their older guys. Bergeron, does he still have it? Is it good to bring him back, keep him around? How about Krejci? How is he going to perform? Well, my answer, the story, the theme of tonight's games was that basically all of the questions I posed yesterday and my doubts were all answered last night, which is kind of insane. Everything I said is what shockingly happened. Well, kind of. So we'll get into it here. So the Bruins started off with my questions. They answered them for sure. Patrice Bergeron starts off the scoring, of course. So 1-0 up the Bees, and then Pastrnak, and then Hall. They're up 3-0 already. And then the Washington Capitals, they start to make a comeback here. Anthony Mantha, a guy that had not the best of seasons last year, scoring in the first game, which is what you want to see from him. And then Connor Sherry. Or Sherry. I hear different commentators say different things. But Connor Sherry, he goes down and scores as well. So 3-2 is the game. Capitals trying to make a comeback, but then David Krejci, the guy coming back from the Czech League, he scores his first game, his NHL game back. Good job for him. Gets them the lead. Continue the lead, I guess, making it 4-2, and then Hampus Lindholm goes down and he makes it 5-2 in this one. So the Bruins win their first game of the season. Now the Capitals, not the start you want to see. They bring in Darcy Kemper. You want him to be that solid, outstanding goaltender that he was for the Coyotes. You bring him in. You bring in some of these guys like Dylan Strome, Connor Brown. You're bringing in these guys to hope to keep the season going. And I know you're missing two of your top guys, but this is not the start the Capitals want. And of course, the Bruins, already their guys are off and running. Even without Marchand and Charlie McAvoy, because I said in my video yesterday that if the Bruins lost, they can just say, well, we're missing our two top guys for defense and offense. Well, in this one, all of their guys that are questionable showed up. Bergeron, Pastrnak, Hall, and Krejci, probably their four top offensive guys, if you remove Marchand, all showing up. And Hampus Lindholm, their big acquisition in the trade deadline last year, that defenseman gets an empty netter, which, empty net, whatever. But basically, Bruins did everything that they wanted to happen, could have happened. And the Capitals, everything they didn't want to happen happened. So, not a good start for the Caps. Great start for the Bruins, and only they're going to get better with I know it's only first game of the season. Big deal. But still, starting off the season right for one of them, not the other. So then we move on to the Hurricanes and Columbus versus the Hurricanes. Now, this is a game 4-1. Now, the Hurricanes, okay, let me restart. Columbus here, they get a 1-goal lead early. So Patrick Laine scores. Seth Jarvis goes in and scores as well. But then Cole Sillinger goes in and scores a goal. However, it's denied because it was offsides. So this is a call where I don't think it's hard, because if you try to make a rule like offsides turned into a decision by the referees, then that's going to be a whole thing. It has to be strict, if it's blue line, if you're past it, whatever. But certain calls for offsides, like this one, he didn't get an advantage by being offsides. He was playing the puck. He didn't gain an advantage. That call against the Sharks in Colorado in that playoff series a while ago, when Landeskog was offsides by his skate blade was offsides, but he was getting off of the ice. Who cares? He's not giving his team an advantage. In fact, he's the better player getting off of the ice. So sometimes it's I know you have to make it a hard rule about puck has to be past the line before the player is, but just sometimes it's this had nothing. Him being past the line before the puck, it wasn't giving him an advantage. He had 3 or 4. He had 3 players on him. It wasn't getting an advantage. So it's a dumb call. But then the Hurricanes is going to run Brady Shea, Martin Necas, who I think is an underrated guy, and Svechnikov all score, making the Hurricanes go up 4-1. By the way, the Hurricanes jerseys looked amazing. I like those throwbacks because it's their 20th anniversary. 25th? It could be even more than that. I'm not actually entirely sure. But I like the jerseys. I like the throwback there. I like the little silver line. I really like that. So, and the shoulder patch, I always like that one. That one's a real nostalgia for me, I guess. So, starting off the season well. Note, Johnny Hockey did not get a point this game, which is unfortunate for the Columbus. But I said in my video yesterday that this one's kind of hard matchup. You know, it's unfortunate that Columbus has to, with their new team, has to go up against my biggest pick for the East Stanley Cup pick. So, kind of a tough draw there. But then we move on to Toronto and the Canadiens. Now, this is the story that I just keep seeing. Of course, Toronto, I said yesterday that I don't know how, I said I think the score is going to be like 4-3 or it could be like 10-1, who knows. But I said the Canadiens, no matter what, aren't winning because they don't need to win. But here they are. The Canadiens win 4-3 against the Toronto Maple Leafs. I mean, I gotta tell you, out of the Canadian teams, I think Montreal is my favorite one. They've always kind of had when I first started really paying attention to hockey, not really paying attention, but kind of like getting into it, was when the Canadiens went on their run in the playoffs when they had to keep switching goalies because they kept getting injured or whatever, when like Mike Condon, Tokarski, Price got hurt. I remember that, and I was really cheering for them as a kid because I was like, man, that's like really cool that they got these random guys coming up. So they have a real spot in my heart. So in Toronto, I hate the freaking Maple Leafs. So good job, Montreal. So first off, it starts off with Michael Bunting. There's been talks about his contract situation. So Bunting get one on the board, trying to make his value go up. Then Cole Caulfield scores a goal, tying it up 1-1. Dennis Malkin makes it 2-1 for Toronto. Cole Caulfield again with another one, who I said last year got way too much crap. He still had 25 goals or something. He had 50 points, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. Cole Caulfield was underrated last year. Too much, not underrated, but everyone would talk so much crap about him. Sean Monahan with his new team, the guy that everyone trashed on as well. I said that I think with this team, I think could be a huge deal for him. I think maybe he's got a big chip on his shoulder going into with a new team being traded away after being talked so much crap about. What if he has a resurgence here? And, I mean, he scores a goal, so, I mean, that's something. So they're up 3-2. Nylander ties up the game 3-3 for Josh Anderson, the guy that is my nightmare in NHL. Scores the game winner. 4-3 is the Canadiens' win. And Toronto, I mean, already off to a bad start. I mean, this is the second to last year of Matthews' contract, I think. No. Yes, it is. Whatever. This is his last year. No, this is his second to, whatever. Anyways, already off to a bad start is the Maple Leafs. I mean, with their new Dubas being said he's not going to get an extension, he brings in the two goaltenders that have a big chip on their shoulder. Not a good start for the Maple Leafs, obviously. I don't need to tell you that, but that is a pretty interesting outcome for this team. This is why I felt this is what I'm going to be doing. I'm not going to cover every game and have notes and stuff. I'm just going to kind of go over each game and the trends for these teams. And the Maple Leafs already off to a bad start. How does game number 2 go? It's just that's kind of what I'm interested in. So, already off to a bad start for the Maple Leafs. And the Canadiens, they don't need to win. And in fact, I probably think they probably don't want to win, as they would love to get Bedard with their already nice young talent coming up. So, I mean, that all those young guys that made the team, Goulet, Zebaj, or however you say his name, Slavkovsky, and did I say Goulet already? Yeah, I already did. Whoever the last guy was. Great job for the Canadiens. So I'm going to be cheering for them. So now we move on to a game which was kind of fun at the beginning. They had Jack Johnson from the Chicago Blackhawks go over with Colorado for the banner, so that was cool. But this game, my question for this was going to be, how bad is Chicago? Which, I mean, 5-2 is literally the first score I threw out there as my prediction. I said I think it's going to go 5-2, then I changed it, but I was right, 5-2. I mean, nothing really to talk about here. Cogliano scores the first goal. Tay scores one. And then Nichushkin. Now, this was the question I had, was how about the one-hit wonders, right? Are they going to be one-time wonders, one-season wonders, whatever you want to call it? Nichushkin and Lehkonen, I have questions about them. But, oh boy, they answered them and threw it in my face. Nichushkin and Lehkonen both with 2 goals tonight. Max Domi with another one for Chicago. 5-2 is the score. Makar, Rantanen they had assists. But Makar, McKinnon, Rantanen, Landeskog, none of them got a goal. So that's just kind of an interesting thing. But Nichushkin and Lehkonen both on the board twice, throwing that in my face. But Tays with a goal. Patrick Kane, it's an interesting situation over there in Chicago. Now we move on to a game that was a real back-and-forth one. So we have Seattle and the Anaheim Ducks, 2 teams that I feel like have the same kind of story for this season. They both have young, top talent guys, and they made some moves to bring in some talent around them. Both, in my mind, could maybe steal a wild card spot. How do they do? Well, first off, Troy Terry scores. McCann ties it up. And then Burakovsky and Bjorkstrand, the new guys they brought in for Seattle, get them the 3-1 lead. Both of them, I think those 2 guys, Burakovsky especially, good goal scorers that they could have there for Beniers and Shane Wright to play with. And then Strome makes it 3-2, and then Matty Beniers scores. That young guy that he looked amazing in his small sample size last year scores, makes this one 4-2, and then Frankie Vetrano, Trevor Zegras tie this one up 4-4, and Troy Terry, this guy that almost willed the Anaheim Ducks out of a rebuild last season, scores the game winner. Holy crap, what a game this was. Now, unfortunately, I didn't get to see this one. I wish I did. Of all the games, this one I said was going to be an interesting one. They have the same kind of story. What a comeback by the Ducks there. And then we move on to the last game of the night, Vancouver and the Edmonton Oilers. So, this one, my question for this was Vancouver, they didn't really change much about their team. They only kind of bring in Kuzmenko from the KHL. And the Oilers, how does Jack Campbell play? And their defense still kind of a question. Well, here we go. So Elias Peterson scores the first goal of the game, followed by JT Miller and Kuzmenko. Their 3 goals of the night were scored straight away. And all 3 guys I kind of had questions about. Can Peterson come back? Can JT Miller continue his play from last year? And Kuzmenko shows up. All my questions tonight were answered right here. And then the Oilers come back. Draisaitl, followed by McDavid, Nurse, and then McDavid twice. They come up 5-3. Already McDavid off and running. I said in my offseason that he's never won the Rocket Richard, but if McDavid wanted to, he could easily be the Rocket Richard winner. It's just he cares more about his team winning than he doesn't care about his own goals. If he sacrificed his assist for goals, he could probably get 78 goals a season. But he doesn't because he wants his team to win. But McDavid already off and running with a hat trick in this one. Congratulations to McDavid. And that is your recap of the games last night. So far, the biggest story, Toronto, can they keep their feet under them, or is this going to be a bad year for them, which would be terrible? The Canadiens, the young guys, whatever. So, yeah, that's kind of it tonight. So, thank you for watching this. If you like this video, please pick up your free subscription by hitting that red subscribe button. If you like this video, leave a like, not a dislike, but go down below to the comment section and tell me how stupid I am for having the certain opinions that I have. Tell me, how stupid am I? So, until next time, I have been your auto salesman dressed host, Owen Too Sweet. I hope you have an amazing day today. If not, put a smile on your face and just try to stick it out. Keep your stick on the ice. Oh, that's new. And keep your stick on the ice. Oh, that's what I'm going to say. Too sweet. And remember, always keep your stick on the ice. Ta-ta for now.